name is Erika Thiel. I work with the University of Idaho Extension System in Boundary County, and I'm here to take you on an adventure and show you our garden. And our garden is Bonners Ferry, Idaho. Bonners Ferry is located in the northern Idaho panhandle. So when we talk about Bonners Ferry, it's far north Idaho. If you haven't seen the upper slide, I'm going to tell you about it. It's organized chaos, and that's very representative of small communities in rural Idaho. We have a lot of assets. We're going in a million different directions, and in order to tend to your garden on a local level, you have to straighten out your seed rows. You need sharp sticks and cold buckets of water. That means these local people need a reality check. There is not going to be a magic wand. There's nobody to save them. We save ourselves. That requires community connections and a vision. When we looked and survived the Horizons process, it started out going into a couple of one meetings. 5 years later, we're looking at our long-term future and the impacts. And when we had our Horizons money, we wanted to look to see what would make the greatest long-term impact. Our garden, we needed to take into consideration who we are, how we're going to do it, what our goals are and what we're wanting to accomplish, and what resources we needed to bring to the table. We invested our funds, and the key conversation we had and the key asset we have in the state of Idaho is Idaho Community Foundation. We established the Boundary County Community Foundation, and the beauty of the Idaho Community Foundation is that they are established and they handle the logistics. When you talk about community philanthropy, that is putting your vision to work. You need to look long term. You need to think about sustainability, and more importantly, you need to leverage resources and assets and grow from within. You need to grow your own. As a community foundation, we are community leaders. What do they do? Asset development, grant making, and community leadership. Those are the key foundations, and it's a balanced approach on how you can make a greater impact. The seed, Boundary County Community Foundation, that is the seed for our garden. We are a catalyst, and we have accomplished so far in the last 2 years 2 successful grant cycles, and it's growing our assets from home. We're homegrown. Working together with the Idaho Community Foundation, we got their attention. We've been approached to be a pilot community with the Together Idaho program. They will provide us competitive grants as we go through this. Phase 1, you need to assess and the feasibility. We need, as an organization, our own reality check. What do you have as an organization? Who's your steering committee? Who is your sharp stick and cold bucket of water brigade? This is not 24 people, it's 7 of committed people. Establishing your community endowment fund. Our goal is to grow our fund, $25,000. This initial investment is not going to go away. If we grow our funds and we build that endowment, we are able to strengthen our community presence and our fundraising efforts and give back to that garden. We are able to reap from that garden. This is not something that is for the faint of heart. It's a long-term committed process and an investment in your community. But I tell you what, it's worth it. Challenge grants. As we go through this process of generating these funds, they match. We get to give that right back into the community. A no strings attached incentive to our community so they can see that we are supporting the garden. What are our long-term goals? And what do we need to be successful? This is not a conversation you have once. You need to address this and look at this as you go through this process. Our support. We are going to need training. We are going to need financial support, but there's a wide variety of things that our local resources can provide us, and especially the Idaho Community Foundation, to help address our needs and help us to be successful. They're the fertilizer for our garden. Things to consider. You have to have a vested steering committee. This is not 24 people, it's 7. You have to be realistic. You need to look long term. There are no magic wands. We have to grow our own. Who's missing? You don't assume. If you assume, you're making an ass out of you and me. We have to have a presence and communication. You have communication, you have an involved community. This is an ongoing effort, and again, it's the gift that keeps on giving. The fund can grant out more than what it started with. If you think about that initial investment, that provides impact for futures and generations. Because once it is established, it stays on the future. Change starts with the decision to try. Think about that and think about your successful future and take advantage of it and roll up your sleeves. Thank you.